What if we told you one of the most powerful women in the Roman Empire wasn't just an empress? According to hostile historians, she was a regular in Rome's slums, a hostess of forbiddance parties, and a competitor in a sexual endurance contest so extreme it defied belief. This is the story the history books are too afraid to tell in full. The true story of Empress Messalina. Our story starts with a single shocking claim from the Roman historian Pliny the Elder. A contest. 25 men, 1 woman, 24 hours. The woman was the Empress of Rome, and this was not an isolated event. It was the climax of a life lived on the edge of a blade. At just 15 years old, she was married to the Emperor Claudius, a man old enough to be her grandfather. Known for his stutter and limp, he was seen as a fool. She was about to become the real power behind the throne, and she was bored. With the wealth of an empire at her fingertips, Messalina went looking for thrills that politics couldn't provide. According to the historians Tacitus and Suetonius, she found it in the slums of Rome. She would disguise herself in a blonde wig, adopt the name Lysusa, and slip into the Subura district, Rome's notorious red light quarter. There, in a small, smoky room, the Empress of Rome offered herself to common strangers. Why? Power, control, and an addiction to risk. But she didn't stop there. She brought the chaos of the streets back into the pristine halls of the imperial palace. She began hosting parties, but these weren't normal gatherings. They were full-scale spectacles of vice. Senators' knights and their wives were pressured into acts of shocking intimacy on command. Refusal meant political ruin. Participation meant she owned you. She was building a web of blackmail, one scandalous secret at a time. Her husband, Emperor Claudius, seemed completely unaware, but his advisors, the freedmen Narcissus and Pallas, saw everything. They documented her escapades, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. And then Messalina gave it to them. It started with a contest. The event was so brazen it became legend. She challenged Rome's most famous prostitute, a woman named Scylla, to see who could physically endure more lovers in a single day and night. Witnesses claimed Messalina not only won but continued long after her rival collapsed from exhaustion. The number 25 became etched into her story forever. But her final mistake was even more public. While Emperor Claudius was away from the city, Messalina did the unthinkable. She publicly married her lover, the handsome Senator Gaius Silius. It was a full legal Roman wedding with vows, a contract, and a massive celebration. This wasn't just an affair. It was treason. Narcissus, the emperor's chief advisor, saw his chance. He rushed to Claudius and revealed the truth. His wife had taken another man as her husband, in front of the entire city. The reaction was swift and brutal. The Praetorian Guard was sent not to protect the empress but to arrest her. Her wedding party turned into a scene of panic. Her new husband Gaius was executed immediately. Messalina fled to the gardens she had stolen from a political rival years before. It was there, clutching a dagger. She was too terrified to use that. The forces of the empire found her. They gave her a choice. Take your own life and die with honor, or die by our hands. She hesitated. She froze. A Roman tribune lost his patience. He stepped forward and ran her through with his sword. The Empress of Rome was dead at 22 years old. But the real scandal is this. How much of her story is true? After her death, the historians who wrote her story were employed by her enemies. They had every reason to paint her as a monster, to turn her into a warning for all time. But was Valeria Messalina truly a uniquely depraved monster? Or was she the victim of history's most successful and brutal character assassination? The facts of her downfall are undeniable. A story of ambition and betrayal that shook the Roman Empire. But the legends surrounding her life, filled with shocking tales of excess and scandal, remain one of history's most tantalizing mysteries. What was the truth behind the whispers and the propaganda? Now it's your turn to be the judge. What's your take on Messalina? Was she truly the depraved and dangerous empress history paints her as, a woman who ultimately got what was coming to her? Or do you think she was a victim, a target of one of the most successful smear campaigns ever, orchestrated by powerful men who wanted her gone? Drop your verdict in the comments below. Your insights are what make this community incredible, And if you thought this story was wild, you won't believe what's next. We're diving into the shocking tale of the emperor who married a child.